What time is the meeting going to start?
Sir, it's 6 p.m.
So should I join back at 6 p.m. or what?
No, sir, keep joining it.
Huh? Could not hear.
So please remain in the class.
Okay.
என்னப்பா இது? நான் பிரசாத கூப்பிட நினைச்சிட்டு முதல்ல கூப்பிட்டது முதல்ல ரெண்டாவது உடனே ஏன் தெரியல அவருக்கு மேல கூப்பிட்டு சரி சரி.
तो मोबाइल स्टैंड है करे
उत्तम से उत्तम परिणाम भारत की नौजवान पीढ़ी की आशा आकांक्षा के अनुसार करते रहेंगे। इसी विश्वास के साथ फिर एक बार आपका
Oh, thank you, sir. யார் மில்காங்கறான் பாரு பாத்து காசு
Hello.
Good evening, sir. So shall we start? Anil, sir.
हो. मी निघतोय. मी निघतोय.
आदित्य?
सकाळी. वेट रा. मी बघतो आता. थोड्या वेळाने फोन करतो तुला. मी मीटिंग मध्ये आलो आता. हो. गुड इव्हनिंग.
Sir, shall we start?
Yes, you can start. Yes.
Okay. Namaskar and good evening to each one of you connected to this webinar. Respected Mr. Anil, sir. Anil Vimalrao Godkase, sir, our speaker today. Members of AVP, esteemed participating registered valuers, and my colleagues. I, Kajal Gupta, manager at DJVF RVO and coordinator of the CP, extend a warm welcome to you all on behalf of my organization. As you are aware, topic of today's webinar is capital gain tax role of valuers. The capital gain is the increase in a capital asset's value and is realized when the asset is sold. To put simply, a capital gain occurs when you sell an asset for more than what you originally paid for it. The capital gain is subject to tax. Therefore, when valuation of asset accruing cost and valuation at the time of sale is required, valuer services. Our speaker today, Mr. Anil Godkase, sir, will be taking this session on the subject. Valuers should have knowledge of this field. Considering this, we have taken up this topic for CP. We are sure that it will be useful to the participants.
Continue.
Introducing to you all. The subject today is Mr. Anil Vimalrao, sir.
Your voice is breaking.
He passed with the section MA structure, first division. He is a registered valuer, duly registered with IBP. He is a former town planner and assistant director of town planning valuation and has professional experience of more than 30 years. He has working skills in the field of land acquisition valuation, mortgage and lease deed valuation for MIDC, CIDC, CO, MHA, DA, etc. Court cases valuation, income tax related capital gain valuation, sale deed adjudication. He has independently prepared ready reckoner for Marathwada region, which is widely used by banks and government departments. It is going to be an interesting learning session for next 2 hours. So over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Kajalji. Now, already Kajal ma'am has given a brief introduction. So, without wasting time, I am former assistant director of town planning and valuation. I am a registered valuer IBBI as well as 34AB wealth tax valuer. And today it's a very important session, that is capital gain. Straightway, without wasting time in my introduction, I will straightway go for my presentation. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. This is my brief introduction. I think most of the valuers are practicing for more than 15-20 years, so they have good knowledge. So I'm trying my best with my own experience regarding this field. I'm expert about the valuations because I have handled more than 5,000 valuation cases. It is related with the stamp duty department, then again with some cases with income tax department, and some I have carried out some inquiries. So based on my experience, that means I have worked as a town planner. That means I have prepared some development plans and how it is related with the valuers. That today I am going to explain. So today's chapter, capital gain, role of valuer, because nowadays it is very difficult to handle these capital gain cases. Whenever you want to be empaneled in any bank or any financial institution or anywhere or income tax department, they are taking some undertakings. So that means it's our responsibility nowadays to because it's not so easy job. It is directly related with the finance matters. These finance matters are directly related with valuers. So we must be very careful regarding handling such cases nowadays. Earlier, what was happening? Most of the people try to ignore this subject. This valuers subject was almost very few valuers. And nowadays, IBBI valuers have been increased. And the second thing, many people try to go with this Wealth Tax Act also. But though they have experience, but what type of which things are necessary while carrying out valuation, that we will discuss today. So capital gain, it is not a separate tax, right? The capital gain in tax is in fact a separate, not a separate tax, but it's an income tax act, income received by the assessee. जो भी इनकम एसएससी को होता है, अगर वो प्रॉपर्टी सेल करता है तो उसका क्या इफेक्ट हो जाता है, और व्हाट विल बी द रोल ऑफ द वैल्यूअर देन, whether it is related with the real estate valuer or whether it is related with the plant and machinery valuer, we will see. And I think most of the people know what is meant by short-term capital. That I will not go in detail for every part, but which parts are important, that we will discuss in detail. The short-term capital gains, what is meant by long-term capital gains, then cost of acquisition. These terms are familiar with the valuer. And some valuers might be new, those who have passed recently. They might be new in this field. Then indexation cost, how the indexation works. And it is directly related with the valuer. Remember, if you have thorough knowledge how to index the cost, that means how to go with the ready reckoner rates, that means stamp duty rates or guideline rates, why these rates are important. And second thing, I have prepared these guideline rates for 8 district Marathwada region, for whole Marathwada region, almost 1/3 part of the Maharashtra. And these rates, and many times some income tax officers, they come across some difficulties. At that time, how to handle such cases, how to handle such assignments. Then they were officially taking some guidance. Sometimes they orally ask me regarding these ready reckoners, because it is directly related with the valuers. We have to consider the ready reckoner rates, then actual fair market value. So we will see the stamp duty valuation, taxation rates, role of register valuer, land and building, and plant and machinery. Many people think that it is related only with chartered accountants. But what are the chartered accountants have different power. Land and building valuer has different powers. Plant and machinery valuers are different power. But what is actually happening in the market, and I have experienced this. When I was working as a ready reckoner officer, at that time I have working as a valuation officer in the stamp department. I was land and building valuer because I am a civil engineer. So there are in every district there are valuation officers posts in the registration department. At that time, whenever we want to visit the particular sites, some industrial development sites or any other sites, what was happening there? During handling the industrial cases particularly, it is related with the both that land and building, it involves land and building valuer's role as well as plant and machinery valuer's role. What was happening? I was not expert about the plant and machinery valuer. And see, if someone is practicing, most of the people are practicing in this field nowadays. And remember one thing, why it is necessary that IBBI has given separate weightage to the land and building valuer, separate weightage to the plant and machinery valuer. Why they are giving separate registration? Is it okay that some land and building valuer is submitting plant and machinery valuer's report? Is it correct?
So only for the same asset class, yes, sir.
For the same asset also, you cannot handle the, you cannot give the industrial plant and machinery report. If you are land and building valuer, you cannot give. And suppose you are plant and machinery valuer, then you cannot give the land and building valuation report. Remember, it is not, if you have both registrations, that means land and building valuers registration as well as plant and machinery valuers registration. And officially I have rejected this. I have carried out some inquiries regarding this. What had happened earlier? What was happening before my before me? Some people accepting the plant and machines report from the land and building valuers. I have stopped that. Officially, I have stopped, and I have discussed with the senior officer, sir, this is happening. What should I do? Earlier, some people were accepting these reports. So remember, that means land and building valuer has the power to go with only land and building valuations. Plant and machinery valuer will work out the plant and machinery valuations. And security valuation valuers have different powers. You know this. So what I did actually, and it is the same thing I'm expecting from all the valuers. I have carried out the land. I have carried out the. Wait, 2 minutes. Just I will explain. Then you can ask me. I have taken land and building valuations report. I have inspected the site. Whatever my findings, I have noted down in my reports. And after that, what I did, I have asked in the most of the government departments, there are no as such posts from the plant and machinery valuers. They have civil engineers, they appoint civil engineers in these registration departments. Particularly in Maharashtra, I know, but I don't know about the other states. Be frank. So at that time, what I did, I have insisted them to collect these reports from the plant and machinery valuers only, because it is directly related with the stamp duty. Whatever it, we are the valuers. On that basis, on the basis of valuation, we collect the stamp duty with the certain percentage rate. That means 7%, 6%. It depends. Statewide, it is different. Different stamp duty. State has different powers. So by collecting this plant and machinery values report, I simply add those figures. Whatever figure I got from the land and building valuation, and after getting registration plant and machinery values report, added them and submitted it to the joint district registrar. Because this joint district registrar, that means these are the officers who then register the documents based on our valuation report. They collect the stamp duty according to the valuation. With the I have already told that some percentage is there. So remember, these are the separate role for the land and building valuer and plant and machinery valuers. So we will see what will be the role of the land and building valuer and what will be the role of the plant and machinery valuer. Now, everyone knows what is capital gain. We will again, these terms will appear again and again, but still we will discuss. Capital gain means the increase in the capital assets value when it is sold. There are certain dates. Income tax department have given some guidelines. Finance ministry has published some guidelines. Based on that, we have to follow while valuing these properties. We have to observe these dates. Though we are technical persons, which date, whether to go with indexing for the base year 2001 or whether to go with the indexing year 1981, it depends. How to calculate capital gain then? What we will do? You simply what you will observe, the consideration cost. There are two types of values. That means you fair market value, then consideration cost, and then some other deductions are there. Which deduction must be considered by the valuer? That we will see. How are capital gain tax? And I think I know it is not necessary. Satish ji, Pankaj Kumar ji, please mute your mic, please. Now come to this capital gain tax. Nowadays it is very, very important. This capital gain tax, see what happened in last 10 years. The property market is in boom in every state, everywhere, every part of the city. That means not only metropolitan cities, but for in any municipal area or any rural area also. See what is happening. This outskirt development is fast nowadays. There are so many other factors because some industrial areas are growing. Government policy is different nowadays. The government try to enhance this industrial sector. That means indirectly it enhances the business and automatically naturally the GDP. That means everyone know the GDP will increase and our status at the international level will increase. That's the government finance ministry is doing well job nowadays. They are giving some instructions. They are modifying as according to the budget. They provide something new in every year's budget. But I think in this year's budget there is no change as per my knowledge. What is meant by capital asset then? We will again see in the next slides. I have some details available with me regarding these capital assets. Most of the people, what happens, some new people, those who are working in this field, they might be thinking that while considering capital gain, it is not related with the movable properties. Or someone says it is not related with the plant and machinery valuations. So where the plant and machinery values role also comes. Land and building values are there. But sometimes what happens, you have to handle so many court matters nowadays. Some land acquisition cases, some property tax cases. So every type of taxes, these are related with these capital gains nowadays. So taxability of capital gains, there are two, one is short-term capital gain, other is long-term capital gain. What is difference between these two terms? In many, the tax rate is different. Government has differentiated the terms short-term capital gain and long-term capital gain. They may modify these figures in the budgets, or time to time the government have the power. They make the changes according to the requirement. So what is meant by short-term capital gain then? The government has published these modifications in 2000 after suppose the property is sold before 31st March 2017 and one property is sold after 31st March 2017. What will be the effect? What will be the consequence? Which base year, indexing year to consider? That is the most prominent year which valuer must know, and while considering while concluding his assignments from the income tax department or whether from the any source, some public approaches, then at that time you must have thorough knowledge regarding, you have to observe these dates, whether the property falls in short-term capital gain or whether the property falls in long-term gain. Accordingly you have to submit your report, right? So as far as short-term capital gain concerned, that means if the property, it is written here, if the asset held for less than 36 months. And second thing in the bracket, it has written 24 months. Where it is applicable for the 24 months? For the immovable properties. What does it mean by immovable property? I will not go in detail regarding this. Everyone knows. So that means whether the property falls in movable category or immovable category. We are the valuers for the immovable properties, remember. So while calculating these figures, you will observe first, what will be the first observation from the valuer? He will straight away think, read the document, whatever document submitted by these concerned parties, you will observe the dates first. That means whether the dates are important. Agreement date is different, actual transaction date is different, and how to, though these terms are, these things are non-technical, but prima facie, every valuer should have the thorough knowledge regarding these things. And based on that only, you are going to carry out your valuations. So what is meant by what will be the benefit of this short-term capital gain, and what will be what is meant by long-term capital? What are the benefits of the long-term capital gain? So we will see whether the tax rate for the short-term capital gain and long-term capital gain is same. Anyone can answer? Anyone can, yes or no only?
No.
No, of course no. Everyone knows. That's why if you have though you are not a chartered accountants, but they expect the proper valuation report, because what happens, the chartered accountant on behalf of suppose one of the chartered accountant, he wants to submit report to the income tax department based on these capital gain calculations, and suppose he has to handle all the times for the movable properties, he can easily handle the valuations. But regarding this plant and machinery valuations, and regarding these land and building valuations, what will be his role then? What he will do? What is expected from that CA there? He wants to submit the report. These are mixed properties there. So one of the properties falls in mixed category. There is movable property as well as immovable property. And second thing, it is related with the land and building as well as plant and machinery. Then what will be that CA's role? What will be the role of that CA in this case?
He will compute the tax payable file.
Yes, but how?
He will apply indexation.
Yes, of course. But this is what I am asking. This is a mixed property. Consider he has to consider movable as well as immovable properties that is related with the land and building and plant and machinery. Whether that CA directly will give the report of the land and building and plant and machinery.
The valuation done from land and building.
So that what you are expecting from that CA then? Officially, what is expected there?
Based on the reports of two values, one of P&M and one of land and building, he will submit the report.
Yes, he has to. That means what he will do before submitting these reports to the income tax department.
He will take depreciated value.
So before submitting this report to the income department, he will collect the report from this. Suppose there are two, I have already told that this is mixed property. That means land and building value. He will collect the report from the land and building value separately. Collect the report from the plant and machinery value, registered values. So these properties fall under the suppose these properties comes under the Companies Act 2017 something. So he has to compulsory take the reports from these valuers and attach as a part to his report, and then submit the report to the department, concerned department. But what is the market practice? Practical situation, I have observed this. I have no right to take objection about these people, but still what I have observed, that is I want to notice whatever I have noticed. Some part of the India, and I have sometimes some people take my guidance regarding these valuations only. I am expert regarding values. I have not too much knowledge about this income tax, but still I am the expert regarding these technical valuations, particularly land and building valuations. So what is happening? So many times land and building valuer is submitting plant and machinery valuations. CA is some CAs, they are submitting the land and building valuations or plant and machinery valuation because they are not engineers and they are not supposed to give these reports. And while carrying out one of the inquiry case, that at that time I have noticed such things. And income tax department has confidentially sent the letter. We have observed all the things. And at that time, what straightway I have said, sir, this is the wrong report submitted by this CA. It's your duty, whether it is correct or wrong. I am not the expert, but he is not the expert regarding this case. And regarding plant and machinery valuation, he has submitted both the reports. Land and building valuers report, plant and machinery valuers report, and accordingly, and there were some complaints. And in that case, though I was not expert about these plant and machinery valuers or movable properties value, I have straightway denied the movable properties valuations. It's not my role. I have carried out the land and building valuations and given report, sir. This is the report. I have submitted this report. Now you collect from the expert. You take the report and you carry out your inquiry. So this practically it had happened. Whatever happened, I am going to tell you. These are the facts I am going to tell. So come to the point then. This when you are handling these short-term cases, that means regularly every year you are paying some income tax. Whether it is 10%, 20%, 30%, that is different thing. But for these short-term, long-term capital gains, what will be the valuer's role? The land and building valuer's role will be different. Plant and machinery valuer's role will be different there. So these people, what they have given some indexes. Every year they publish such indexes. I think everyone knows this, but still I'm going to revise the knowledge for everyone. So based on that, these valuers, land and building valuers, as well as plant and machinery valuers will submit the valuation reports by considering this acquisition cost of acquisition, everyone know. We will see in the later slide with some numerical. I have some numericals with me. That will also, we will go with the numericals also. So that means what will be the, how to index, how to calculate this acquisition cost. And basically what is happening, actually what is happening, most of the government officers, what is their view? They try their own, they expect their own convenience. And why it is happening, how it happens, I have some plans with me, and based on that I will explain it. So I think it is not necessary to explain this short-term capital gain and long-term capital gain. The property, for the immovable property, it is considered to be 24 months. And for the movable property, it may be 36 months. Now, indexation benefit. What will, why this indexation is important? It is the most important for the valuers. How to work out this indexation, we will see. What is meant by indexation then? The capital gains indexation in India is used for adjusting cost of acquisition. What is meant by cost of acquisition? Can anyone tell me? Because you are all people are experienced, so that new people might know. What is cost of acquisition?
Purchase cost plus stamp duties.
These are other expenses we can deduct. But basically, whatever in which year he has purchased the property. Suppose he has purchased one property in 2006, and he is selling that property in 2018. What will be the effect here for indexing then? Which indexing year he will consider there for the property valuation?
2006 only.
Yes, either 2001 or later year, right? Yes, absolutely correct. So that means There comes the valuer's role. He will consider this figure and he must update because these figures being published by this department. The Central Board of Direct Taxes issues cost inflation indexes. Every year they publish this indexes. I have rates available with me in my next slides. This index is to calculate index acquisition and improvement. Improvement के लिए भी हो जाता है. Cost of acquisition का भी indexing cost आपको calculate करना पड़ता है. अगर उसने later on period में improvement भी कुछ किया तो वो year का indexing उसको use करना पड़ेगा. So base year in 2001-2, what was the index in 2001-2? It was base index 100 in 2001-2, and later on, every year government has published these indexes, and accordingly you have to work out. Now someone has says he has to carry out the indexing for the year 2006. Then whether he will use 2001-2 index or 2006 index. He has to use 2006 index rates, whatever figure they have given. To calculate this indexing cost, he will use 2006 in latter part. So index cost of acquisition, what is meant by index cost of acquisition? This cost of acquisition into cost of index year of the sale. In this case, we have said when he has sold the property in 2018. So that means this will be the index for the 2018. And the year of index divided by index of that when he has acquired that land, acquired that property in 2006. So these figures must be considered by the valuer. The Central Board of Direct Taxes issues these inflation indexes. Remember, and every year it is not mandatory that every year they publish. It may sometimes they publish or they sometimes it depends on the finance ministry. These are indexes. The cost index, cost inflation index. They publish every year. In 2001, see, 2001 to 100 was the index. In 2006-7, 122 was the index, and 2018, 72. So in this case, he will use 272 here. And in 2006, 117. That means in this part, he will use 117. I think everyone knows this, but still for some new people, I'm going to tell them. That's but for the revision, sometimes it needs. What is capital gain then? And how it is applied and how to index this cost? I have explained. The capital gain tax has broadly classified into this department has classified into five different categories. Out of that, one category is that capital gain. And sale consideration reduced by cost of acquisition. That is index cost of acquisition. What will be the cost of, what is the cost of consideration? What is meant by cost of consideration? Cost of consideration means cost of consideration क्या होता है?
वो स्टैम्प ड्यूटी
कॉस्ट ऑफ कंसिडरेशन वो होता है सर जिसपे एक्चुअल में कोई सेल परचेज होती है एक्चुअल में.
हाँ, एक्चुअल में सेल. लेकिन एक बात ध्यान में रखो
जी,
दो चीजें ध्यान में रखना है जब भी वैल्यूएशन कैलकुलेट करना है. Though we are not technical persons, but we must have the knowledge regarding this. Agreement to sell एक रहता है part, right?
जी जी.
और क्या ये बात जरूरी है? Is it necessary that suppose Mr. Bhavin has sold property to Pankaj Kumar,
जी,
and they have made agreement, sale agreement to sell.
जी
one property they want to sell in 2000. They have made agreement in 2018,
जी
and whatever may be the problem, there's some suppose Bhavin is facing some financial crisis,
जी जी
and he requested Pankaj, sir, I do not have money with me, and they registered this document in 2022. Whether
जी
the cost of consideration will be 2018 or 2020, whatever it may be.
it should be 2020. It should be.
Yes, it should be. It should be 2020 because
Inflation हुआ ना सर,
on that
inflation
day
होगा ना
they
सर.
have registered the document. But still, we must know regarding this. Suppose he has paid some amount. They are making some agreement in 2018, and Mr. Bhavin has paid 2 lakh rupees. One thing I am going to confuse you, but still try to answer. भाविन ने क्या कर दिया कि 2 लाख रुपए एडवांस में उसको दे दिया, भाई होटल में बैठे, वहां पे जाके उसने क्या कर दिया, 2 लाख रुपए कैश दे दिया, और 2020 में उसने डॉक्यूमेंट रजिस्टर कर लिया. तो अभी यहाँ पे कौन सा कॉस्ट पकड़ना चाहिए वैल्यूअर ने, फिगर कंसिडरेशन कॉस्ट कौन सा पकड़ना चाहिए?
सर एक बार
2018
क्वेश्चन रिपीट करेंगे सर.
तो 2018 में उसने क्या किया? 2018 में भाविन ने आपको होटल में बैठे बैठे 2 लाख रुपए कैश दे दिया, रिमेम्बर. और 2020 में एक्चुअल में रजिस्ट्रेशन कर लिया, और कैपिटल गेन के लिए हम वैल्यूएशन कंसीडर करना था जो रूल से, तो उसके हिसाब से 2018 का वैल्यूएशन कंसीडर करना चाहिए या 2020 का करना चाहिए, यही क्वेश्चन.
2018.
Someone is saying 2018 and someone is saying 2020.
No, 2018, when the agreement is registered.
See, agreement, if agreement is registered, it's okay, then they will, it is okay. But what I have said, he has given 2 lakh rupees in cash and just on the 100 rupees bond made some agreement. Simple, because these two things are different. Making agreement on 100 rupees bond
नहीं होगी ना सर, कैश पेमेंट को कंसीडर नहीं करा जा सकता वैसे.
नहीं करा जा सकता है, यही चीज है.
If it is registered agreement only.
He has to register agreement only, and suppose in registered document he can say, I have paid this much cash. Otherwise he has to prove that I have paid by check or by RTGS or anything. So these things also matters with the valuers, remember. क्योंकि वो वैल्यूएशन का जो ईयर है ना, उसके ऊपर से ही आपका इंडेक्सिंग हो जाता है, कैपिटल गेन टैक्स भी बढ़ जाता है, वो देखना पड़ेगा.
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था.
हाँ, अब वो अपना क्वेश्चन एक लास्ट प्लीज नोट कर लिए, कंटिन्यूएशन में कंटिन्यू कर लेते, जरा टाइम भी कम हो जाता है, लास्ट में ले लेंगे, नो इश्यू.
ठीक है सर.
ओके, लेकिन नोट कर लीजिए, ये प्लांट एंड मशीनरी का भी हो जाता है रोल. यहाँ पे भी क्या होता है, ये चीज आप थोड़ा सा पढ़िए, वी विल डिस्कस दिस. व्हाट इज डिफरेंस हियर? देयर आर these two paragraphs have some different meaning. Some plant and machinery values are there, so they must know, and I think they know it, but still we will discuss this. What is different bit? I'm going to ask this regarding this. पर्सनल पर्पस के लिए अगर उसने कर रहा है, वो जो प्लांट एंड मशीनरी का वैल्यूएशन का है, वैल्यूएशन तो है, प्लांट एंड मशीनरी है तो नेचुरली उसका कुछ ना तो वैल्यू है ही है. पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी के इसमें उसको कैपिटल गेन के इसमें इंक्लूड होगा या एक्सक्लूड होगा? मशीनरी, रिमेंबर, मशीनरी हेल्ड एज इन्वेंटरी और ट्रेडिंग पर्पस. जो ट्रेडिंग पर्पस के लिए अभी मशीनरी वो सेल कर रहा है, बिजनेसमैन है, वो सेल कर रहा है, तो वहां पे कैपिटल गेन एप्लीकेबल होगा या नहीं होगा?
होगा.
Again, think and tell me. Read this line. Trading purpose है उसका.
No, no.
No होगा.
He
इसका
will
सही
be
जवाब.
he will be
Yes.
applicable only for general income tax, profit and
Right.
loss. Bas.
So that's why I have given these two paragraphs. Read these two paragraphs carefully, then you will find your answer yourself. What is written here? Anyone can read these lines loudly so that everyone will hear this line and this line. What is written here? Anyone can read this loudly so that
However,
everyone.
it's essential to note that plant and machinery used for personal purposes or held as stock in trade would fall under the category of capital assets for taxation purposes. For instance, machinery held as inventory for trading purposes or machinery used for personal use would not be considered capital assets.
अपन कैपिटल एसेट के लिए कैपिटल गेन पेड करते हैं. यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है कि नहीं कर सकते. ट्रेडिंग जब चल रहा है तो उसमें या पर्सनल यूज के लिए चल रहा है तो उसमें आप कैपिटल गेन अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते. अभी रीड दिस लाइन देन.
In summary, plant and machinery used for business or professional purposes are generally treated as capital assets.
Yes.
And are subject to capital gains tax upon their sale unless any specific exemptions or provisions apply.
Yes. So that means this is the difference here. Whether suppose someone wants to sell that, someone is selling some property for this trading purpose, you cannot apply the capital gain tax here. But for the business or for professional purpose, he is selling some machinery, old machinery, then still it is applicable.
Sir, what is that specific exemption here?
Specific exemption, they have given some exemptions. I think it's from section 54 something. So they have given certain guidelines, certain exemptions which are exempted. That is separately published by the Finance Ministry. Now come to this point again. This is also important. Capital assets. Read this, then I will. तो इसमें आप देख रहे हो तो कुछ एक्सक्लूडेड है और एक जगह पे ये इसको दिस इज नॉट एक्सक्लूडेड. See this line, read this line carefully. Agricultural land in rural areas, they are excluded from the capital gain. Then personal effects we have seen. These personal properties, they are excluded. These are also personal properties. Then why these are included? These are liable for the capital gain tax. These are capital assets. क्यों इसको ट्रीट किया गया है। आपको तो लगता है ये कि ज्वेलरी, आर्कियोलॉजिकल कलेक्शन, ड्राइंग्स, पेंटिंग्स, स्कल्पचर्स एंड अदर ट्रीटेड एज कैपिटल एसेट्स। अभी ज्वेलरी ये भी पर्सनल है, जो ड्राइंग्स पेंटिंग्स है ये भी पर्सनल है, फिर भी ये इसमें इंक्लूड क्यों नहीं, इसको एक्सक्लूड क्यों किया गया है? बाकी
Sir,
तो
because
इसमें
this the value of these increase over time.
Sir, a simple reason is कि all these are commercial properties.
पर्सनल भी है, आपकी पर्सनल है, फिर ज्वेलरी तो आपकी पर्सनल है।
But they increase in value over a period of time.
Yes. But in simple words, we can say are considered as long-term assets. आप ज्वेलरी जो भी है परचेस करते हो सब जो 2008 में, तो 10-12 साल आप आराम से रख लेते हो। इसको ऐसा कंसिडर किया गया है कि आप कौन से साल में ले रहे हो, कौन से साल में बेचते हो, ये भी काउंट किया जाता है, क्योंकि आजकल तो पूरा ऑनलाइन हो गया है, आप छिपा नहीं सकते इसको। कौन से साल में आपने परचेस किया था, कौन से साल में बेच रहे, सब इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट को वॉच रहता है। तो आर कंसिडर एज लॉन्ग टर्म एसेट्स हेल्ड फॉर इन्वेस्टमेंट। आपने क्यों लिया है ज्वेलरी, इन सब बहुत सारे पर्सन इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए थे, ऐसा उन्होंने, उनका सजेशन है। गवर्नमेंट ऐसा कहता है कि जो भी आप परचेस कर रहे हो, ज्वेलरी परचेस कर रहे हो, ये ड्राइंग्स पेंटिंग्स परचेस करो, स्कल्पचर परचेस, ये जो भी है ये ये लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट है आपका, इसीलिए ये इसको एक्सक्लूड नहीं किया गया, इनको इंक्लूड किया गया है। रिमेंबर दिस, as these are considered as long term assets, and that's why these fall under the capital assets. And duration we have already discussed this, I will not going to repeat it again.
सर एक क्वेश्चन था।
हम्म
सर जनरली हम क्या देखते हैं कि चलो गोल्ड का तो वो तो एक्चुअल में खरीदा जाता है, एक्चुअल में बेचा जाता है, लेकिन जो प्रॉपर्टीज मानिए प्लॉट है, घर है,
हाँ
सर मैं हिमाचल से हूँ, यहाँ पे एक जो भी कॉलोनीज हैं जो रेरा से रजिस्टर्ड या कुछ हैं, वहां पे जो मैंने ये जनरल प्रैक्टिस ये देखी है कि अगर प्लॉट बेचा जा रहा 32 लाख का, तो रजिस्ट्री कराई जाती 7 लाख की, ठीक है सर? तो 25 लाख लिया जाता कैश में।
हाँ
तो ये कैपिटल गेन की पूरी तरह से चोरी है टैक्स की।
वो तो है, वो आपने नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में आप विल डिस्कस। यस, दिस इज द करेक्ट पॉइंट एंड एवरीवेयर इट इज हैपनिंग। आई नो बिकॉज आई हैव carried out some inquiries regarding this, so I know it. I am going to explain it.
सर ये इस तरह की प्रैक्टिस मैं आपको बताऊं कि रियल एस्टेट में इतना ज्यादा वो ब्लैक मनी है, इसको कैसे रोका जाए, ये बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन है।
नहीं, इसको रोकने का कोई भी तरीका आज तक गवर्नमेंट भी फाइंड नहीं कर सकी, ना कोई कर सके, क्योंकि इसका आपकी जो मेंटेलिटी है, जब तक वो चेंज करना बहुत जरूरी है, उसके बगैर इसको कोई सॉल्यूशन नहीं है। नहीं है
सर
solution।
मैं आपको बताऊं, मेरे पास एक वैल्यूएशन होने को आई, मेरे पास क्लाइंट आया, उसने बोला जी कि मैंने प्लॉट 32 लाख में परचेज किया।
ओके,
मैंने बोला आप सेल डीड दिखाइए। सेल डीड में कंसिडरेशन प्राइस 6.5 लाख था।
गवर्नमेंट का वैल्यूएशन उतना है, उसका ही वो बताएगा, उतना स्टैम्प ड्यूटी पे करेगा।
तो मैंने उस प्लॉट की वैल्यू फिर 6.5 लाख ही डाली, क्योंकि मेरे पास वही प्रूफ था कि उसने वो 6.5 लाख में परचेज किया। मैं उसका 32 लाख वैल्यू नहीं डाल सकता। मैंने क्लाइंट को बोला कि आपने अपने प्लॉट की वैल्यू खुद कम कर दी।
हाँ, वो हो गया, ये बराबर है, आपने जो किया वो सही किया है, लेकिन इसके रिवर्स साइड भी हो सकती है। आपको एक समझो, रिवर्स साइड में आपको नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में आने वाला है, वो वी विल डिस्कस दैट पॉइंट, क्या होता है इसका इफेक्ट, वो वी विल सी।
जी सर।
So that is already given here, but remember this, the following are not included under capital assets. But बहुत important है, capital asset में fall होता है या नहीं होता है, though these are non-technical terms, but being a valuer we must know everything. The capital gain is denoted as the net profit that investor makes after selling a capital asset. वो जो capital sell कर रहा है, तो उसके लिए आपको stamp duty valuation consider करना, particularly land and building valuer के लिए से ज्यादा चलता है, रियल एस्टेट में ये ज्यादा चलता है। तो कैपिटल गेन इज डिनोटेड एज द नेट प्रॉफिट दैट एन इन्वेस्टर मेक्स आफ्टर सेलिंग ए कैपिटल एसेट एक्सीडिंग द प्राइस ऑफ परचेस। उसमें दो कैलकुलेशंस, एक फेयर मार्केट वैल्यू क्या होता है, स्टैम्प ड्यूटी वैल्यूएशन क्या होता है, ये देखना पड़ेगा आपको। अभी जो पंकज कुमार जी ने जो दिया एग्जांपल वही है, वो वी विल सी इन डिटेल देयर। सो इसमें क्या क्या आता है, buildings, land, houses, vehicles, mutual fund, jewelry, plant and machinery, everything. That is whether it is movable, इमूवेबल, लॉन्ग टर्म एसेट है तो उसको कैपिटल एसेट में ट्रीट किया जाएगा, लेकिन उसमें भी कुछ एक्सक्लूडिंग लिखा है। तो ये जो एक्सक्लूड है, any stocks, consumables, raw materials, these are excluded, but we are not related. These are some movable properties. Now come to this, in what circumstances would you need to property valuation for capital gains, tax purposes? The property movable or immobile was sold under, जो अभी ये तो सबको मालूम है, the property is given or away or pass on to a family member. कब होता है ये? जब कोई मेंबर पास हो जाने के बाद जो भी प्रॉपर्टी, ये तो ये भी हो जाता है इनहेरिटेड प्रॉपर्टीज, जो कि अपना चल रहा है बहुत दिनों से। कोई भी आदमी पास होने के बाद क्या होता है, फैमिली टू फैमिली वो पास हो जाता है, मीन्स एसेट्स पास डाउन फ्रॉम वन जनरेशन टू नेक्स्ट जनरेशन। दिस प्रॉपर्टीज वी कैन से इनहेरिटेड प्रॉपर्टी। और जब वो सेल करते टाइम पे, जो पहले जो एक्विजिशन करते टाइम पे उसकी कॉस्ट क्या थी, सेल करते टाइम पे क्या कॉस्ट है, क्योंकि ये चीजें भी बहुत जरूरी है, उसका इंडेक्शन कैसे करना है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। यू आर सेलिंग ए गिफ्टेड प्रॉपर्टी, गिफ्ट के लिए क्या गिफ्ट कैपिटल गेन में आता है क्या? पहले बोलिए मुझे। गिफ्ट दिया मैंने आपको,
No, it doesn't come.
No, no,
नहीं
no, it is
नहीं आता, लेकिन ये इसका रिलेशन कहाँ पे आ जाएगा? जब आप प्रॉपर्टी सेल आउट करोगे,
सेल करोगे, यस।
तो उसको जब पहले जो भी मिला था वो टाइम पर क्या, एक्विजिशन के टाइम पे क्या कॉस्ट था, सेल के टाइम पे क्या कॉस्ट है, ये ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा। दिस रिमेंबर?
यस, यस।
करेक्ट आंसर, यस, एब्सोल्युटली, वेरी गुड। No, for capital gain tax purposes, the property valuation may be required for in various circumstances to accurately determine property sold under market value. Market value क्या होता है?
Market
Willing
value
buyer,
sir,
willing purchaser, proper marketing.
पंकज कुमार जी, आपने अभी एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था, तो आप ही मुझे मार्केट वैल्यू बता दीजिए। दो वैल्यू आपके पास थे, 6 लाख की, 32।
मार्केट वैल्यू वो वैल्यू है सर जो एक्चुअल में
नहीं, मुझे
एक
फिगर चाहिए। आपने दो वैल्यू बोले थे, वो फिगर मुझे बोल दिया बस, मुझे सबको आंसर मिल जाता उसका। 6 लाख एक था फिगर और 32 लाख फिगर था, इसमें से कौन सा मार्केट वैल्यू है बोलो मुझे।
32 लाख 32 लाख
32 lakhs,
32 लाख, ये 32 लाख मार्केट वैल्यू था,
yeah.
लेकिन तो यही है जो गवर्नमेंट का वैल्यूएशन 6 लाख रहने की वजह से क्या हो रहा है, वो आदमी को 32 ऑलमोस्ट 26 लाख बने ब्लैक में चला जा रहा है वो केस में।
जी
और
जी
नॉट
सर
ओनली ही इज नॉट पेइंग स्टैम्प ड्यूटी, बट अगेन ही इज नॉट पेइंग द कैपिटल गेन।
Yes,
So he is
yeah.
getting both the benefits. He is cheating to the government, but
टैक्स
उसका
चोरी है सर, टैक्स चोरी है।
तो उसको क्या कर, उसके ऑप्शंस, क्योंकि we people are the responsible, being citizens, it's our responsibility for our nation that we should not।
नहीं सर प्लीज इसमें मेरा क्वेश्चन है,
Sir, government has to reduce stamp duties.
नहीं, गवर्नमेंट स्टैम्प ड्यूटी नहीं रिड्यूस कर सकती। स्टैम्प ड्यूटी का क्या रहता है मैं आगे में बताऊंगा, क्योंकि क्या है, दीज आर द एवरेज रेट्स। वो लेटर ऑन लेटर स्लाइड आई एम गोइंग टू एक्सप्लेन दिस, ओके। क्योंकि मैं आपको पर्टिकुलर
सर
आपको
जो
लोगों को
स्टैम्प
नहीं बोल रहा
ड्यूटीज
हूँ,
होती है,
जनरल में बात कर रहा हूँ।
वो जो स्टैम्प ड्यूटी होती है वो मार्केट रेट के ऊपर नहीं होती, वो सर्कल रेट के ऊपर होती है जो गवर्नमेंट फिक्स
सर्कल रेट
करती
और
है।
स्टैम्प ड्यूटी के लिए वैल्यूएशन एक ही रहता है। सर्कल रेट का दूसरा नाम है रेडी रेकनर, और
जी
उसको ही
सर,
गाइडलाइन रेट बोलते हैं, आपकी मालूमात के लिए।
जी सर।
ट्रांसफर टू फैमिली मेंबर, ये भी हो जाता है। इनहेरिटेड प्रॉपर्टी, वी हैव डिस्कस दिस। गिफ्टेड प्रॉपर्टी, गिफ्ट दिया जाता है, वो भी एक्सक्लूड है, लेकिन सेल करने के बाद फिर भी आ जाता है, वो भी इसमें कैपिटल गेन में आ जाता है।
एक विल भी होता है सर, विल।
हाँ, विल भी है। विल में भी क्या होता है, वो दे देता है, लेकिन जब कभी तो कभी सेल करेगा ही वो, तो वो टाइम पे वो आ ही जाता है उसमें। नाउ कम टू दिस रोल ऑफ वैल्यूअर, लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग एंड प्लांट एंड मशीनरी वैल्यूअर्स, क्या रोल है इनका? रीड दिस देन आई विल प्रोसीड। क्योंकि आजकल जो है owing to this large population, इंडिया की पॉपुलेशन बहुत फास्ट चल रही है आज, और इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर, कमर्शियल सेक्टर, एवरीवेयर देयर इज डेवलपमेंट. So there is always huge demand for real estate nowadays everywhere. Now someone is from Himachal Pradesh. Still, what is happening there? What these people are doing there? So many developments. They are removing these hills. And most of the times, every part of the India, you will find these developments. सिटी जो कंजेस्टेड हो चल रहे, मेट्रोपॉलिटन सिटीज में क्या चल रहा है, मुंबई, पुणे, बेंगलोर, चेन्नई, क्या चल रहा है आज. आउटस्कर्ट एरिया में भी आप देखोगे तो 10-15 किलोमीटर. बेंगलोर से कोई है इधर? कौन है बेंगलोर से? बेंगलोर, हैदराबाद, कोई है इधर से?
Sir, I am there, sir. I am from
हाँ,
Bangalore.
तो यस, आउटस्कर्ट में कितना चल रहा है आजकल? कितना है बेंगलोर का एक्सपेंशन? कितना ऑलमोस्ट किलोमीटर में बोले तो कितना हो जाएगा आज?
It is a radius of about 20 kilometers.
20 किलोमीटर. तो ये हर जगह पे, हर सिटी में हो रहा है. इतना एक्सपांड हो रहा है. प्रॉपर्टी की कीमत बहुत, इट टच टू द स्काई नाउडेज. लैंड वैल्यूज टच टू द स्काई. So that's why many capital gains we have to handle. Many assignments we have to handle this type of assignments regarding this plant and machinery valuations, land and building. And second thing, government is enhancing this industrial sector, and so many industries are going nowadays, every part of the India. So there comes the plant and machinery valuers role. These land and building valuers and plant and machinery valuers are interrelated with each other. Whenever he wants to develop an industry, he has to carry out some land and building valuations also. So that means these both are coordinated with each other. So valuation of capital gain tax, valuation plays a significant role when calculating capital gain tax on assets. Whether the capital falls in short term, whether it is short term capital or long term capital, we have to consider these things. A registered valuer assess the fair market value. वो क्या करता है? fair market value. बहुत बार ये क्या होता है, ये fair market value का बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. आप लोगों को जरूरत भी नहीं पड़ती, ये लोग लेते भी नहीं वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट. क्यों नहीं लेते? उसका भी एक रीजन है. आई एम गोइंग टू एक्सप्लेन इन द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड्स देन. तो अगर वैल्यूअर को वैल्यूअर देना है, आप वैल्यूएशन देना है, तो वो क्या क्या चीज देखना पड़ेगा उसको. He has to see the location, whether the property falls in the heart of the city, outskirts of the city, on the main road. That means location is important. And second thing, being a civil engineering valuers, land and building valuers, they have to go with these development plans. What is the planning proposal? What are the development prevailing development control rules? So these things they have to observe. Second thing, property type. Where is the property location? What type of property? That means whether it is from the RCC category, land and load bearing category, or any other category, or temporary construction. So in which category it falls, that is the role of the valuer. Use of the property, for what purpose he is using that property, it is also. So now come to this, register valuer plays a crucial role. Where its role plays? Asset valuation. The primary role of register valuer in capital gain tax assessment to determine value of the asset of a specific date. Why date is important? These days matters in valuations. आप एग्रीमेंट कौन से डेट में कर रहे हैं, रजिस्ट्री कौन से डेट में हो रही है, आपको वैल्यूएशन का रिपोर्ट कौन से डेट में देना है, वो भी सोचना पड़ेगा. अगर 2022 में भी रजिस्ट्री हो गई, उसको रिटर्न दाखिल करना है, तो वो टाइम पे भी आपने एग्रीमेंट, आपके पास यू हैव द एग्रीमेंट इन 2018 समथिंग, then you have to consider these 2018 rates. Then valuer will go. And many times what happens, so many people did agreements in earlier in the past days, but when they are going to register that document, and when they have made the agreement, and it is the duty of that particular person to prove that I have paid this much amount, but that means that agreement to sell must be registered there. And what is meant by registered agreement to sell? Registered means क्या होता है? उसमें क्या होता है? एग्रीमेंट टू सेल रजिस्टर किया करना है तो क्या होता है उसमें?
उससे स्टैम्प ड्यूटी होता है, इट इज बिफोर द रजिस्ट्रार.
हाँ, स्टैम्प ड्यूटी तो होता है, लेकिन
We have to pay full stamp duty.
Yes, that is the word I am expecting here. He has to pay full stamp duty at that day, on that day. Then compliance. In many cases, tax laws require that the fair market value of asset. और ये market value कैसे बदलते जाता है? We will see on the plans. This documentation, this is also important. Then dispute resolution. बहुत सारे dispute तो चलते रहे. Property matter बोले तो आजकल बहुत complicated हो गया है. Every city, wherever you go, you will find some disputes there. और it's the और पर्पस भी अलग चीज है. एक बात ध्यान में रखो, जब कैपिटल गेन आपको पे करना है तो आप उसका वैल्यूएशन बढ़ाने की कोशिश करोगे या कम करने की कोशिश करोगे?
बढ़ाने की कोशिश करेंगे.
कम करने की कोशिश करेंगे.
हायर द वैल्यू,
कम करने की कोशिश करेंगे.
वो कम करने की कोशिश करेगा. वो ऑलमोस्ट टच करने को कोशिश करेगा कि जो स्टैम्प ड्यूटी का जो रेडिएटर का वैल्यूएशन है उसके टाइम उसको दोनों बचाना है. स्टैम्प ड्यूटी भी बचाना है, जैसे कि वो 6,32 लाख का एग्जांपल बहुत प्रॉपर है उसके लिए. वो क्या करेगा, 6 लाख गवर्नमेंट का वैल्यूएशन है तो वो बोलेगा कि मैं 6,50 लाख बताऊंगा. तो 32 लाख में उसका एक तो कैपिटल गेन भी बच रहा है, वहां पे स्टैम्प ड्यूटी भी बच रहा है 26 लाख से. तो रिमेंबर, these things happen practically everywhere, all over every part of the India. Now come to this section 50C. What is section 50C? Read this. Deals with computation of capital gain in case of transfer of immovable property, land and building, for a value lower than the stamp duty valuation by government. Government एक दो रेट आते हैं जब भी, whenever you want to calculate this capital gain, the income tax department considers two rates. One is guideline rate, that is stamp duty valuation rate, or circle rate. The same words, it is used for the stamp duty valuations. और second one, fair market value, जो कि अभी जो इन्होंने बताया था पंकज कुमार ने, जो 32 लाख था, लेकिन वो बताया उसने चोरी किया, वो बात अलग है. तो फेयर मार्केट वैल्यू वो केस में 32 लाख था, रेडी रेकनर का कीमत 6 लाख था. तो उसने कैसे बचाया, वो उसका स्किल था, उसने बचा लिया. जो भी वैल्यूअर होगा उसका रिपोर्ट देता है, उसके समझ में आने के बाद भी वो कुछ नहीं कर सकता. ही डू नॉट हैव द एविडेंस विथ हिम, अदरवाइज द वैल्यूअर वुड हैव सबमिटेड अकॉर्डिंग टू द 32 lakhs. एविडेंस लगता है, नहीं पॉसिबल. So section 50C is applicable only to land and building of both. Land को भी लगता है. Remember, section 50 जो है, जो लैंड भी सेल कर रहे हो तो भी लगना है, आप लैंड और बिल्डिंग भी सेल कर रहे हो तो भी लगना ही है. उसमें क्या हो जाता है, स्टैम्प ड्यूटी वैल्यूएशन के इसमें, सपोज यू आर सेलिंग वन प्रॉपर्टी और आपका सेल प्राइस 50 लाख है. कैपिटल गेन में आता है या नहीं, ये सोचने के लिए जरूरी है. आपने प्रॉपर्टी सेल कर दी 50 लाख में और गवर्नमेंट का मार्केट वैल्यूएशन निकला 80 लाख रुपए. तो ये केस में वेदर इट इज एलिजिबल फॉर द कैपिटल गेन और नॉट, दिस केस इज एलिजिबल फॉर कैपिटल गेन और नॉट.
Sir, could you please repeat the questions?
Suppose one person, Mr. Srinivas is selling the property, and what he approached to the stamp duty department. He inquired there, he found there, the stamp duty rate, the valuation was 80 lakhs rupees, and actually he was selling the property for only 50 lakh rupees. So whether this case comes under capital gain or not, that is my question.
Acquisition cost is to
Yes,
be
it
seen,
will
sir.
come.
Acquisition cost is to be seen.
Yes, but see the difference. How much the difference is there? More than 10%. 10% से ज्यादा डिफरेंस है तो उसमें जो रेडिएटर का जो कीमत है वो पकड़ना ही पड़ेगा उसको. अगर
Yes,
10% के अंदर में जो अगर बैठता है 50 लाख के 10% पकड़ो कितना आ जाएगा?
55
lakh.
55. सपोज उसमें अगर रेडिएटर का कीमत 54 लाख आता है और एक्चुअल सेल वैल्यूएशन 50 लाख है, तो आपको 54 लाख या 55 लाख यहाँ तक आपको एक्सक्यूज है. 55 लाख तक आपको उसमें कैपिटल गेन केस में कंसीडर करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. लेकिन उसके बाहर जा रहे हैं आप 50 लाख और 80 लाख 10% से बाहर जा रहे, तो ये केस में आपका 50 लाख का वैल्यूएशन वो पकड़ेगा नहीं. तो कैपिटल गेन पर्पस के लिए वो कैलकुलेशंस तो मैं कैलकुलेशन के लिए नहीं जाऊंगा. 50 लाख और 80 लाख, तो ये केस में कैपिटल गेन के लिए कितना वैल्यूएशन पकड़ा जाएगा? फिर
Stamp duty value.
स्टैम्प ड्यूटी वैल्यू. तो ये दो उनका इट इज मैंडेटरी. How much is the fair market value? How much is the stamp duty valuation? और इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट यही चेक करता है. और ये चेक करने में वैल्यूअर का कैसे रोल आ जाता है वो विल सी इन द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड्स. देन तो शॉर्ट टर्म कैपिटल गेन, लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू रिपीट दिस. So what are the valuation scenarios? These are some valuation scenarios for the capital gain purpose. कैपिटल गेन वैल्यूएशन एक ऐसी टेक्निक है वैल्यूअर्स के लिए. कैपिटल गेन के लिए वो अलग वैल्यूएशन देता है. बैंक लोन अगर चाहिए तो क्या करेगा? वैल्यूएशन कम देगा या ज्यादा देगा? ज्यादा है. आजकल यही चल रहा है. एनपीओ क्यों एनपीओ बढ़ रहा है?
नहीं, आजकल तो लोन अमाउंट के हिसाब से वैल्यूएशन बनती है.
नहीं वो सर आप जब प्रैक्टिकली एक्सपीरियंस करोगे ना तो आपको बहुत डिफरेंस फाइंड होगा. इसमें बहुत जगह पे कुछ वैल्यू अभी तो थोड़े रिस्ट्रिक्शंस आ गए तो थोड़ा सा सोच रहे लोग. पहले
बैंक वैल्यूअर पहले ही पूछता है. बैंक वैल्यूअर बैंक का जो मैनेजर है वही बता देता है वैल्यू कितनी है.
हाँ तो
आपकी प्रॉपर्टी 80 लाख की है ऐसे वो इनडायरेक्ट बोल देता है.
हाँ तो अभी तो थोड़ा सा सिस्टम में थोड़ा चेंज हो गया. लेकिन फिर भी कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर में देखोगे आप, कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर में पर्टिकुलरली आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर, आज भी बहुत सारे वैल्यूएशन बहुत ज्यादा दे आर सबमिटिंग ह्यूज वैल्यूएशंस, हाई वैल्यूएशंस. क्यों? तो ये डिफरेंट थिंग है. क्यों? दैट इज नॉट आवर पार्ट टुडे, बट स्टिल ये प्रैक्टिकली ऐसा ही चल रहा है, होता ही है और हुआ है. बहुत सारे बैंक, रिजर्व बैंक, व्हाई रिजर्व बैंक इज टेकिंग एक्शन अगेंस्ट दिस बैंक्स. और जब भी रिस्पॉन्सिबल जब इंक्वायरी चलती है, जब बहुत सारे फ्रॉड देखते होंगे, 600 करोड़ का फ्रॉड हो गया, 1000 करोड़ का फ्रॉड हो गया, तो ये केस में पहले किसके रिपोर्ट चेक किए जाएंगे? सीए का रिपोर्ट भी चेक किया जाएगा. लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग वैल्यूअर है तो उसका रिपोर्ट चेक किया जाएगा. प्लांट एंड मशीनरी वैल्यूअर है तो उसका रिपोर्ट चेक किया जाएगा. अगर वो तो इसीलिए ये क्या करते हैं आजकल जो बैंक्स जो है, जो रेडी की जो वैल्यूएशन है उसके प्रोफार्मा में उन्होंने ये कॉलम इंक्लूड ही कर लिया. उससे 20% 30% से कुछ ज्यादा होता है क्या, ये चेक कर रहे हैं आजकल. तो डिस्प्यूट्स में भी आ जाता है, कोर्ट मैटर्स बहुत सारे उसमें भी चलता है, कंपनी प्रॉपर्टी ट्रांजैक्शंस में आ जाता है. वीजा के लिए भी, वीजा आप फॉरेन में जाना चाहते हो, यूएस या अदर कंट्रीज में जाना चाहते हो तो वो टाइम पे भी आपको ये लगना ही है. कॉस्ट इन्फ्लेशन इंडेक्स ये क्या है वो भी आपको पहले मैंने बता दिया. आई विल नॉट गोइंग इन डिटेल हियर, बट वी विल.
देयर इज ए डिफरेंस बिटवीन सर्कल रेट एंड द स्टैम्प ड्यूटी रेट.
सर्कल रेट का ही दूसरा नाम स्टैम्प ड्यूटी रेट है.
It is the same. Many places you are using circle rate, but at many places you have told the guidance value rate, stamp duty value. So it is same thing, I think.
Same.
Due to this, I asked you, is there any difference?
No difference. सिर्फ फेयर मार्केट वैल्यू में और ये सर्कल रेट गाइडलाइन, उसके 3 नाम है आपके मालूमात के लिए. एक स्टैम्प ड्यूटी वैल्यूएशन बोला जाता है उसको, दूसरा सर्कल रेट बोला जाता है, और कुछ लोग उसको गाइडलाइन रेट बोल देते हैं. तो दीज आर एवरेज रेट्स. ये कोई फिक्स रेट्स नहीं है, ये जो एवरेज रेट्स थे वो
This
कैसे
is,
रहते हैं?
I think, sir, minimum value of the land on which stamp is to be payable.
Well, we will see. I have some plans with me. I will explain them in detail. Okay. I have some development plans with me. I'm going to explain that part also. So read this, then we'll proceed. I have already explained this. Meaning of capital assets, we have seen these all kinds of property, whether movable, immovable, tangible, intangible, include in these capital assets. But when you are selling that property, that period is more important, whether it is short-term capital or long-term capital. That according to that, you have to fix the taxation rate. And these are some exclusions excluded from the capital assets. These are some movable, stock in trade, we will not go in that. Personal effects, ज्वेलरी, लेकिन इसमें और एक पार्ट जो आता है ना वो इम्पोर्टेंट है, ये फ्रॉम द फॉर द ऑल द इंजीनियर्स. This is the important part. You read this, then I will explain on the plans how it affects. इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट के ये रूल्स है, ये इसके लिमिट के बाहर समझो. ये आई थिंक एवरीवन नोज रिगार्डिंग दिस डेवलपमेंट प्लान्स, जिसको मास्टर प्लान बोर्ड ऑफ द टाइम बोला जाता है. सबको मालूम है ये मास्टर प्लान क्या होता है, डेवलपमेंट प्लान क्या होता है, मालूम है आप लोगों को? हाँ. तो उसके लिमिट के बाहर जो एक सर्टन एरिया है, उसके बाहर जाने के बाद भी कितना एरिया कंसीडर करता है वो इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट, ये एरियल डिस्टेंस से काउंट करता है. तो यू शुड हैव द नॉलेज ऑफ दिस डेवलपमेंट प्लान्स सो दैट यू कैन फिक्स द बाउंड्री, हाउ मच इज द पेरिफेरी. So that is explained here. Up to 2 kilometers from the local limits of the municipal or cantonment board. और the population का भी दिया है उसको. इसके बाद इतना population exceed होता है तो क्या करना चाहिए, उसको भी कंसिडर किया जाता है. इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट उसमें भी प्रॉपर्टी सेल हो रहा है तो वो कंसिडर किया जाता है. उसके बाद अप टू 6 किलोमीटर फ्रॉम द लोकल लिमिट्स ऑफ द म्युनिसिपल और कैंटोनमेंट बोर्ड, ये भी दिया जाता है. जो मेट्रोपॉलिटन के प्लान अलग रहते हैं, उसमें म्युनिसिपैलिटी की कैटेगरीज है. ए क्लास का कैटेगरी अलग है, बी क्लास का कैटेगरी अलग है, सी क्लास अलग है, मेट्रोपॉलिटन अलग है, म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन अलग है, कैंटोनमेंट बोर्ड अलग है. ये जो प्लान है आप लोगों को इसका कलेक्शन करके रखना पड़ेगा जब आप कैपिटल गेन टैक्स के वैल्यूएशन हैंडल कर रहे हो. तो ये कैटेगरी के प्लान का, क्योंकि उसका लिमिट जो है, दोज हु आर सिविल इंजीनियर्स दे कैन इजीली मेजर how much is the difference distance, or suppose that property do not fall in these specified limits. That means within the periphery of that 2 kilometers or 6 kilometers or 8 kilometers, whatever distance according to the population, they have given these distances. So
how often it changes generally?
Yes, this is the plan I am showing here. So see, this is the boundary of the one of the municipal council. So then you have whether how much is the population, according to the population, what value will do from this periphery, this entire city, there is no issue. But what will be, where the value soul will be there. So this person will check the boundary. From this boundary they consider aerial distance, but roughly we can measure by scale. They mean every plan they give this scale according to the that development plan. So you will measure accordingly. You will measure the distance and whether that property falls under this capital gain or not, you can decide. This is for the one of the metropolitan city. This is the heart of the city part. This is outer area, and this from this outer area you have to measure the distances, and then you can prove while giving some reports to the income tax department. The income tax assessing officer may ask, sir, you prove that this property do not come within 2 kilometers or within 6 kilometers or within 8 kilometers. You have to prove. He will not ask you because CA is not expert. Plant and machinery valuer is not expert in this case, but land and building valuer, he prepares some, he must know this thing.
May I ask one question, sir?
Well, after concluding this, okay, I will continue. Then you can remember, we can ask in the last 15 minutes then. I will give 15 minutes for this. Okay.
Yes.
Because in continuation, I have to conclude this. And this one C-class municipal area, their limits is, they have given some particular limits for the, depends on the population. See, here they have given 10,000 population. Here they have given 1 lakh population. Where they have given 10 lakh population. According to the population, according to the distances, civil engineer has to decide this. Then these radiator circle rates or guideline rates, it is written here, sir. Naresh Sarji, Gupta ji.
Sir.
It is written here. This is the title of this slide.
Ready
reckoner, that means stamp duty, circle rates. इसको ready reckoner भी बोला जाता है क्योंकि ये ready rates रहते हैं, right? These rates are ready. Circle rates or these guideline rates. This is crucial. Why it is crucial? Because for the stamp duty purpose, you are considering these rates. Whether you are selling that property for 6 lakhs or 32 lakhs, it doesn't matter. You have to pay stamp duty according to these valuations only. But for the capital gain purpose, again, they consider two values. One is fair market value. Second one is guideline value. They will consider both these values. In this situation, that I have already told the difference of valuation by giving one example. That means Pankaj Kumar was selling that property for 50 lakhs. Guideline valuation was 80 lakhs. And reverse side, he has given already the one numerical example that one property, the actual market value was 32 lakhs. Guideline valuation was 6 lakhs. So both cases are reversible. ये केस में रेडिएटर गाइडलाइन का वैल्यूएशन जाता है, तो ये केस में वैल्यूअर का रोल आ जाता है कि इसका वैल्यूएशन कैसे कम किया जाए. सो रिमेंबर, आप जब रजिस्टर्ड करोगे डॉक्यूमेंट तो ये वैल्यूएशन कैपिटल गेन में ऑटोमेटिकली चला जाता है. गवर्नमेंट के पास एक रूल है, जो भी प्रॉपर्टी का वैल्यूएशन 5 लाख एंड अबव हो जाता है, इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट के पास ऑटोमेटिक चला जाता है. जब भी व्हेन आई वाज वर्किंग इन दैट डिपार्टमेंट, आई नो दिस थिंग्स. व्हेनेवर यू रजिस्टर द डॉक्यूमेंट फॉर द वैल्यूएशन मोर देन 5 lakhs and above, then it automatically goes to the income tax department, and they will give you the notice according to the valuations, and they will ask you to pay this the capital gain. So at that time, the valuer's role will come. But remember, there is one provision regarding this. I don't know regarding this for the other state, but particularly I have handled so many valuation cases on this. Regarding these valuations. Suppose what happened, one person, I will come to this plan. See, this is the property. This is one survey number, and suppose he wants to sell that property. This is green zone, or this is residential zone. Remember. And suppose that survey number falls partially in the green zone and partially in the residential zone. Whether there will be difference of in the rates or will it be same? Are you getting my question?
Yeah.
Actually, it is not shown on the plan, but suppose this is the entire survey number. This is one entire survey number here. This part is green zone, that is agricultural zone. This part is residential part. In this situation, whether there will be difference of rate in this agricultural zone and residential zone?
Definitely.
Yes, there will be a difference. Yes, of course.
What type of rates will be available in the ready reckoners then?
The type of rates available would be, for separately for agricultural land and separately for residential.
But being a civil engineer, how you will consider these rates?
It is readily available with ready reckoner.
Yes, it's readily available. But remember one thing: for the residential purpose, they will not provide the per hectare rates. Remember, They will provide
yeah.
only square meter rates.
Definitely.
Per square meter rates.
Yes.
Yes.
For this agricultural rate, they will provide
Hectare
per
or
hectare
acres.
rates.
Per hectare rate.
But what happens? Suppose this Rahul's land falls in this. He wants to sell this property, and there is huge difference because you can sanction the development layouts here. You can get development permission. Everything you can develop. You are eligible for the development permission in this residential zone. In that situation, what is happening? There is huge difference of valuation in these two valuations. In the agricultural sector, suppose the land value is only 10 lakhs. But here you can find this value may go in crores. Huge difference. Or in the Ready Ekner, what happens? They provide the rates only for this survey number. They do not have the details available with them. They cannot differentiate this. In this case, suppose Rahul has sold this property for 10 lakhs. But suppose you want to register that document, he has sold this property to Mr. Gupta ji, and Gupta ji said, yes, I will buy this property. But what happened? While paying the stamp duty, he said, sir, I can pay the stamp duty, no issue, it's only 7% or 8%. No issue. But where is the difference? Regarding the capital gain, there will be huge difference there. So almost 30% tax he has to pay, almost. By indexing and everything, I will not go into with the calculations. So in this situation, whether you will go with this, whether you will accept the income tax notice or will go for the appeals. दस लाख का भी है, फिर भी मुझे उसके तो जितना भी प्रॉपर्टी जितना मैं परचेस किया उससे ज्यादा तो आपको कैपिटल गेन ही भरना पड़ेगा. Am I right?
You have to go for appeal.
हाँ, तो उसके लिए अगर 10 लाख की प्रॉपर्टी है तो उसको ऑलमोस्ट 10 लाख से भी ज्यादा उसको कैपिटल गेन करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि इसका 90 लाख ऑलमोस्ट उसका का डिफरेंस है. यहाँ पे 1 करोड़ से ज्यादा भी इसका रेसिडेंशियल जोन में रेट जा रहा है, तो उसको कंसिडर करना पड़ेगा. राइट? तो इसके लिए क्या प्रोविजन है? तो एक तो ये जो रहते हैं रेडियो सर्कल रेट जो रहते हैं, इसमें एक प्रोविजन है एज पर द रजिस्ट्रेशन एक्ट 1908. There is section 31, and according to that section, you can appeal to the registrar, joint district registrar, that is adjudication process. So what you have to apply to the registrar that you have to prove that this my property falls in the green zone, and you are giving report, because sub-registrar is non-technical person, but there are certain valuers. These technical persons are appointed. I have worked there for more than 10 years in that particular department. I have handled so many such cases. So that's why I'm going to share my experience. In that situation, what I will do, I will ask whether you submit this document, whether it falls according to the development plan, whether this property falls in green zone or residential zone. You will take the part plan from that particular department. You will submit, then other documents, whatever evidence with you, and based on that you can reduce the valuation. Remember, and then automatically if you reduce this stamp duty valuation, then naturally you can avail the benefits of in the capital gains also. So remember, that's why these things are related with the valuers. And what is the transfer here? ट्रांसफर कैसे कैसे हो सकता है? एक ट्रांसफर बाय वे ऑफ सेल, ट्रांसफर बाय वे ऑफ एक्सचेंज भी कर सकते हैं. प्रॉपर्टी के बदले प्रॉपर्टी दिया जाता है, ये भी है, एक टाइप का होता है. रिलिंक्विशमेंट डीड, जो सपोज यू वांट टू avail the benefit of transfer of development right. These are related with the land and building values. These things being given in the building control development control rules. So you suppose you want to the reserve site is there. These are some reserve sites. So in this case, suppose you want to avail the benefits of this transfer of development rights, then you have to in free of cost. Government is not giving compensation. There is second alternative for you. You can go further this transfer of development rights, and suppose you are availing the benefit of transfer of development rights, then you have to make relinquishment deed. That means you will hand over that land free of cost to the municipal corporation or municipal council, whatever it may be. So
Sir,
that
not
this-
only, sir, not only in case of it has to be done with roads and open spaces.
Yes, that,
Not
but
in-
that is
not only TDRs.
Yes, I know. I have written that big inquiry on this TDR, so I know everything. Because this TDR matters everywhere. I think you might have that means slum TDR, heritage TDR, road
Sir,
TDR, then
जो relinquishment deed है ना सर, वो as gift deed, as settlement deed within the family भी करी जा सकती है.
हाँ, वो भी हो सकता है, वो भी हो सकता है, लेकिन ये पर्टिकुलरली यहाँ पे जो वैल्यूएशन का जो डिफरेंस आता है ना
जी,
ये बहुत सारा यहाँ पे उनको जो टीडीआर में जो बेनिफिट लेना है वो कि लैंड एक्विजिशन में क्या हो जाता है, आजकल गवर्नमेंट क्या करता है 2 times 3 times 4 times जो कॉम्पेंसेशन देना चालू है गवर्नमेंट लैंड अगर आपकी रिजर्वेशन में जाती है तो पहले क्या होता था we people try to evade and we try to remove that reservation from the development plan or change the try to modify, but nowadays these things are not happening. We people are taking the benefit of this TDR, or we may demand for the land acquisition compensation, and we are getting huge compensation nowadays. So that is not the part for the today, but still I have explained for your knowledge. Transfer by way of compulsory
वाला लिफाफा ले लिया तो
क्या बोलते हैं?
Sir, how do you expand TDR?
TDR
ज्यादा नहीं है.
आपको TDR के बारे में मालूमात नहीं है क्या?
Yes, I am from plant and mission.
ओके आपको रिलेटेड नहीं है ये प्लांट एंड मशीनरी से रिलेटेड नहीं है टीडीआर का कोई रिलेशन नहीं, लेकिन जो लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग वैल्यूज है उनको तो ये बातें मालूम होना जरूरी है, क्योंकि टीडीआर बहुत सारा मैटर करते हैं आज के डेट में. आज जो मुंबई में क्या चल रहा है, स्लम का टीडीआर का क्या चल रहा है, अदानी का जो मैटर चल रहा है आज के डेट में कहाँ पे आता है, दिस इज रिलेटेड विद द टीडीआर ओनली. ओके, और जो आजकल वैल्यूएशन फॉर बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल इसके लिए भी जब जाते हो तो आपको बैंक वाला पहले पूछता है कि रेडिएटर की, जैसे कि करंजीकर सर ने जो बताया कि पहले बैंक मैनेजर बोल देता है भाई इतना इसका वैल्यूएशन है वो लोन लेना तो वो क्या करते हैं, करंजीकर जी will not accept the valuation cases, but there are so many valuers. They will say, sir, he is not doing, though he is following rules, I will do the valuation. So such people are there. These are some practical things I am going to tell. So you are not accepting these such type of valuations, but so many valuers are there. They say, sir, though he is not doing valuation, I will do. Such people are there.
Sir. Yes. They are doing very well job.
But you are, remember, you are doing good job that you are not accepting such valuations. That's the good thing.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And second thing, Pankaj Kumar ji, you have done good job that you have not accepted whatever evidence with you. According to that, you have considered the valuation. So these indexes, you know everything. I think I will not go in detail here. Then calculation of capital gains. How we calculate this capital gains? Full value consideration. जो भी है in the consideration that is received by a seller in return of capital gains. Suppose he is selling one particular property with land and building. Then he will receive some consideration there. So that full consideration, whatever consideration he has received, that will be considered here. Then cost of acquisition. What do you mean by cost of acquisition? कोई एग्जांपल से मुझे बताएगा कि ये कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन क्या होता है? लैंड एक्विजिशन नहीं है,
ब्रोकरेज रहता है ना सर.
इट इज ए
ब्रोकरेज का तो ब्रोकरेज नहीं. यहाँ पे लिखा है, जो लाइन तो बहुत क्लियर है उसका, इसका मीनिंग भी
स्टैम्प ड्यूटी वगैरह रहता है सर.
ये देखो, द कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन इज द वैल्यू ऑफ एन एसेट व्हेन ए सेलर एक्वायर्स इट.
Yes.
आप बेच रहे हो, बेचने के
कंसिडरेशन प्लस स्टैम्प ड्यूटी.
पहले तो आपने कभी तो भी परचेस किया होगा किससे, राइट?
Yes.
That is the cost of acquisition.
Whether brokerage and improvement
these are some deductions. These are some deductions we will see. this brokerage will be deducted from this full value consideration. That means from full value consideration, they will deduct this cost of acquisition, they will deduct this cost of improvement, and whatever expenses according to the rules, permissible rules, these will be deducted, and you will get the net value there. And according to they have to pay capital gain. So these index
What
cost
about
of
advertisement expenses?
I have a small
What
query,
about
sir.
advertisement expenses?
Oh, we will discuss in the last 15 minutes because I have so many slides to explain. Then in last 15 minutes, we have discussions with, okay? These are some exemptions given that these, you have to go this section 54, you read this. These are according to the income tax laws. There are certain exemptions. What type of exemption you can avail? That is given in this section 54. What happens if the valuation officer is higher than the value of valuation officer? क्यों हो रहा है इसका डिफरेंस? आपने जो पहले अपने एक एग्जांपल में समझ लिया कि जब एग्रीकल्चर लैंड का वैल्यूएशन 10 लाख था, रेसिडेंशियल वैल्यूएशन 1 करोड़ था, और वो जो रजिस्ट्रार के पास गया तो बोलता कि मुझे मालूम नहीं, मुझे कुछ समझता नहीं, आई एम नॉन टेक्निकल पर्सन, आई डोंट नो, these are the rate published by the government, I will follow these rates only. So that means you have to accept, pay the stamp duty according to the residential zone. Again, you have to pay the capital gain according to the residential zone. So ये केस में उसको ऑप्शन क्या हो रहता है? क्या हो गया ऑप्शन? यहाँ पे एक एग्जांपल दिया है, read this. But already I have explained one example. So which figure he has considered? Why he has considered?
To my mind, the registrar will consider only the stamp duty value, which is circulated by them in the form of circle rates. They cannot go beyond it in any case, because while calculating capital gains, there is a court ruling that the cost of acquisition has to be upgraded to the 2001 level. And 2001 level, only the circle rates is the maxima that has to be considered, because you cannot say that market rate will be considered there, because indexation benefit will apply only on the circle rates which are prevalent on the date 1/4/2001. This is a court case, and Supreme Court has, I think it's High Court which upheld it in one of the cases in Delhi.
Yes.
I would like to have your opinion on this, because in Delhi there are specific cases where circle rates are not circulated in 2001. So
but actually these rates are available in some part of the India. These rates were confidential.
No, they have circulated certain rates. Ministry has circulated certain rates, and from there on they apply the cost index to bring it to 2001 level. But here is a catch. There is a catch here, because in the process, when the leasehold rates are given, and the land gets converted to freehold, it automatically escalates many folds. Because after getting the conveyance deed, he can construct beyond the permitted FAR and all that. So rates escalate. I would like to have your opinion on this. Should we give some weightage to the circle rates at the time of arriving the rate valuation on as on 1/4/2001?
I think we will discuss that case. I will share my personal number with you, because I want some details. Because unless and until I have details available, I cannot explain this, because it will require a lot of time. We will discuss. Yes, I will do. Yes. Right. It will require some time. And I want to see some documents also, because I don't know what you are saying regarding these rates, because these circle rates are available in 2001. Then
sir, I want to say something. एक कैपिटल गेन की
wait for
एक
10 minutes, then I will conclude this and we will discuss this. Okay.
सर एक कैपिटल गेन की वैल्यूएशन आई थी मेरे पास, उसमें क्या था कि जो ऑनर था वो 2020-21 में उसने कोई लैंड और हाउस सेल आउट किया। ठीक है सर, वो किया उसने 50 lakhs में, लेकिन उसने जो कंसिडरेशन प्राइस रखा वो रखा 35 lakhs, 15 लाख उसने कैश लिया। जब 2001 में उसने वो प्रॉपर्टी परचेज की थी, वो बना हुआ घर था, तब उसने वो परचेज किया 10 lakhs में, लेकिन उसने कंसिडरेशन प्राइस किया 2 lakhs। तो उसने मेरे को बोला कि 2001 में मैंने ये 10 lakhs में परचेज किया है और 2020 में मैंने ये 20 lakhs में सेल आउट किया, तो आप इसकी वैल्यू 2001 के हिसाब से 10 lakhs डाल दीजिए। मैंने उसकी वैल्यू 2 lakhs डाली, क्योंकि एक्चुअल में जो कंसिडरेशन प्राइस था 2001 में जो सेल डीड के अकॉर्डिंग वो 2 lakhs में परचेज की गई थी, ना कि 20 lakhs में।
तो आपको जो इंडेक्सिंग जो कॉस्ट जो प्रॉपर्टी 31 मार्च 2017 के पहले सेल आउट हो गई या तो उसके बाद सेल आउट हो गई, उसके डिस्कस से आपको 2001 और उसके लेटर डेट वो कंसिडर करना पड़ता है इंडेक्सिंग के लिए, तो उसके हिसाब से आपको कैलकुलेशन कर लेना पड़ेगा।
जी सर, जी सर, जी सर।
तो ये दिस इज वन स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट फॉर दिस फुल वैल्यू कंसिडरेशन, expenses incurred wholly and exclusively in connection with the transfer. Someone was asking me regarding the deduction, that part comes here. Someone was saying that brokerage and everything, those whatever the charges, that stamp duty charges, then this brokerage charges, then other जो भी charges legally permissible है वो charges, these charges come under this. This was your consideration. From this you have to deduct something. Which are the
So even the
deductions?
advertisement charges go into this? Even the advertisement charges go into this?
Yes, yes. What I have said, legally permissible transferable charges. These are considered for this, whatever. If it is legally permissible, then you can avail that benefit. Then index cost of acquisition, we have discussed this. We have to use this. First, we have to go with this cost of acquisition. What is the date of acquisition? On that basis, you have to index the cost. इंडेक्स कॉस्ट ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए भी आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, वो जो इंडेक्सेस दिए है ये यूज करना है। आई थिंक यू पीपल मस्ट बी अवेयर ऑफ दिस। और ये सेक्शन इसमें जो एग्जाम्पशंस दिए है वो जो भी है वो देख लेते हैं, जो एज पर रूल्स व्हाट इज गिवन यू हैव टू ऑब्जर्व दैट। These are expenses. Here what is meant by in practice, what is happening here? नेसेसरी एक्सपेंसेस, इसमें क्या आ जाते हैं, जो अभी जो मैंने यहाँ पे जो बोला है ना आपको कि एक्सपेंसेस इनकर्ड होली एंड एक्सक्लूसिवली इन कनेक्शन विद द ट्रांसफर, दीज आर सम परमिसिबल एक्सपेंसेस। ब्रोकरेज फीस, लीगल फीस, आप कभी कभी वास्ता एडवोकेट का भी गाइडेंस लेते हो, उसके भी चार्जेस आपको लीगली परमिसिबल है। स्टैम्प ड्यूटी ये भी परमिसिबल है, एंड अदर कॉस्ट डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड टू द सेल प्रोसेस, जो भी है उसके रिलेटेड जो भी परमिसिबल आ जाते हैं उसमें, जैसे कि आप किसी ने तो भी एडवर्टाइजमेंट का बता दिया वो भी आ जा सकता है उसमें। These are some points you study yourself, considering the time limit.
Sir, brokerage paid at the time of acquisition.
Yeah. क्या बोलते हैं?
Sir, brokerage paid at the time of acquisition.
हाँ.
That also is to be added in the cost.
That in general it is given here. Necessary expenses में जनरल में जो भी लीगली परमिसिबल है, these are some.
So my question is, at the time of acquisition also paid brokerage and at the time of sale also.
Accordingly, you have to decide yourself.
See, in my opinion, this brokerage part should not be considered in the cost of acquisition, because normally this brokerage is not paid in white terms. So this should be left out. Only the stamp duty part should be included in the cost of acquisition.
Yes, but if legal documents are available, then you have to consider this.
No, the brokerage is normally paid in the number 2 terms. So it should not be considered in the cost of acquisition because you will not be able to prove it anywhere.
Practically,
if it is paid through check.
Yes, if you pay it through check, then it's a different thing. In 99% cases, it is never paid through check.
Practically, you are saying it is correct, sir.
Now, from the last 5-10 years, people are paying in the check also.
Yes. So these are some important methods of depreciation. Because being a land and building valuer, or whether you are plant and machinery valuer,
सर किसी का टीवी चालू है प्लीज
हाँ प्लीज टीवी बंद कर दीजिए
टीवी बंद कर दीजिए केजरीवाल का भाषण सुनाई दे रहा है
लेकिन वो कौन है प्लीज म्यूट समथिंग इज डिफरेंट ओके तो ये जो मेथड्स डिप्रिसिएशन के प्लांट एंड मशीनरी वैल्यू
याद है जब आप छोटे थे और आपके दादाजी
काजल मैम समवन इज डिस्टर्बिंग प्लीज आस्क हिम टू म्यूट काजल मैम इफ यू आर देयर ask him to mute
Then I have muted him.
Okay then, okay, very good. Important methods of why these methods are important because these are directly related with the valuers. आप जब अपील में जाना चाहते हो तो तब ये टाइम पे आपको if you have thorough knowledge then you can avail the benefits. So these methods I am not going in detail because everyone knows this while studying, while clearing the IBBI, everyone has studied this. This direct appraisal method, that means lump sum. Your knowledge is tested here because this direct appraisal method is very different method because you have to judge on lump sum basis. You are giving some depreciations. This written down value method, you know, it is the book value method. This used by the accountants. Then straight line method. Straight line method में loss क्या हो जाता है उसमें कोई बताएगा उसमें बहुत सारा वैल्यूएशन जब when you are using this straight line method उसमें unnecessary कुछ फिगर आ जाते हैं जो भी प्रैक्टिकली अगर उसका सोचे तो क्या क्यों लॉस हो जाता है वहां पे कभी फायदा भी हो जाता है कभी नुकसान भी हो जाता है लेकिन उसमें नुकसान ज्यादा होता है क्यों हो जाता है
ज्यादातर नुकसान होता है बिकॉज द एज ऑफ द प्रॉपर्टी आप जो कंसिडर करते हैं और जो एज उसकी हो चुकी है वो लेते हैं उससे जो फिगर है बहुत इन्फ्लेट हो जाता है दैट इज व्हाई बहुत नुकसान हो जाता है डायरेक्ट लाइन स्ट्रेट लाइन मेथड से सो इन वन ऑफ द आई मीन क्लासेस दे से दिस depreciation percentage should be calculated in a certain way. I'm forgetting the reference name, but if somebody asks me later when I'm there at my desk, I can definitely supply that. Yeah. He says that you have to take certain depreciation for 5 years, certain for 10 years, certain, and this is upheld everywhere.
But particularly by calculating this using this straight line method, what happens? The depreciation is constant for every year. For 15 years, every year the same depreciation will be carried out. Suppose the life of the building or machinery is 30 years. So there will be certain, for every year, the same depreciation will be there. So this is the drawback. For the earlier, suppose the building is only 3 years old, or suppose the building is 50 years old, or machinery, same thing with the machinery. If the machinery is 3 years old or 50 years old, whether there will be difference of valuation in the depreciation. लेकिन ये कांस्टेंट पकड़ता है इसीलिए यहाँ पे एज इससे ज्यादा नुकसान अर्ली एज वालों को भी सेम बेनिफिट दे रहे हो 50 वालों को भी उतना ही दे रहे हो these are the drawbacks of this method. Then constant percentage method, then sinking fund method. I think most of the plant and whether you are from plant and machinery side or from land and building side, you use this sinking fund method. It is the best way method. Some of these are some other methods, and these are them statutory depreciation methods followed by income tax department. They based on they publish these rates they modify these rates time to time. Okay, for residential building 5% per year. These are some average rate, but by submitting your report, valuer will consider all these things. I will not. I have already told this direct.
पेट्रोल पंप पे मिले तुमको
तो डायरेक्ट अप्रेजल मेथड में आपका एक्सपीरियंस चेक किया जाएगा, आपका एक्सपीरियंस से ही आप उसका लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग, सपोज यू हैव विजिटेड वन साइट, then what you will do, you will observe everything, and based on that you have to conclude some evidence are not available, still you have to give the depreciation. Then you will write in your report that these are the drawbacks, these are the benefits, these are the merits, and these are the demerits. On that basis I am going to give the depreciation accordingly. This written down value method, you even knows, by used by the chartered accountants.
क्योंकि होना चाहिए सारा ना, पता कुछ नहीं होता.
तो ये एग्जांपल्स कुछ दिए हैं, इसमें ज्यादा मैं जाऊंगा नहीं, लेकिन
हाँ डिग्गी में खोलना, डिग्गी जरा.
और प्लांट एंड मशीनरी के जो डिप्रिसिएशन उसको देना है तो उसको क्या क्या करना पड़ता है. प्लांट एंड मशीनरी आर टिपिकली कंसिडर्ड डिप्रिशियल एसेट फॉर अकाउंटिंग, allow business to deduct the cost of these assets over their useful life. हर एक मशीनरी का यूजफुल लाइफ रहता है 10 years 15 years, उसको मेंटेनेंस भी रहता है, उसके बाद कुछ इंप्रूवमेंट भी कर लेते हैं, तो
ये
उसके
ट्यूब डाल दे इसके अंदर है. ट्यूब देना भाई.
दिस मेथड
अरे ट्यूब रखी थी यहाँ.
अभी ये
सर कुछ डाउट्स है पूछूंगा सर. I do have some doubts.
वो अभी तो चालू करेंगे, ये तो अभी ये मेरा खत्म ही हो रहा है, अभी लास्ट पे आते हैं. ये जो न्यूमेरिकल से मेरे केस स्टडीज के जो मैं एमईपी के लेक्चर्स में पढ़ाता हूँ, एक्चुअल में ये भी बहुत यूजफुल है, ये भी आपको मिल जाएंगे, नो इश्यू. तो इसमें मेजर थिंग क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, जो आप देखेंगे तो यहाँ पे एक सिर्फ यहाँ पे चले जाओ, सीए इंडेक्स में देख रहा है. यहाँ पे उसने क्या किया, ये प्रॉपर्टी सेल कौन सी ईयर में किया है, कब किया है सेल इसने प्रॉपर्टी, and how much price, how much was the cost when he has sold the property.
November 2017.
November 2017. Okay, so that's why he is considering this 2001 indexing, right? और सपोज ये प्रॉपर्टी नवंबर 2012 में अगर सेल करता तो accordingly you have to they will provide these indexes. You have to decide whether to go for these 1981 rates, because that 31st March 2017 is the date. On that basis you have to decide whether to go for these 1981 valuations or go for this 2001 indexing, base year index. Now come to this point, this gift and will. इसमें भी कैपिटल गेन कंसीडर किया जाता है. क्यों किया जाता है, जो आई हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन, बट स्टिल वी विल डिस्कस. कब आएगा ये कैपिटल गेन का रोल, यहाँ पे वैल्यूअर का भी रोल आ जाता है उसमें. फॉर द ओल्ड डेट्स आल्सो यू हैव टू कंसीडर दिस वैल्यूएशंस. प्रॉपर्टी का एक्विजिशन का डेट अलग रहता है, कब एक्वायर किया था. गिफ्ट में आप कुछ नहीं करें, लेकिन गिफ्ट के बाद क्या करोगे, प्रॉपर्टी सेल करोगे, तो वो टाइम पे भी आपको डेट ऑफ एक्विजिशन क्या है, सेल की डेट क्या है, उसके हिसाब से कैपिटल गेन कैलकुलेट करना पड़ेगा. फिर उसके वैल्यूएशन कैलकुलेट करने के लिए अकॉर्डिंग टू डेट यू हैव टू डिसाइड फॉर वेदर टू गो फॉर विच डेट. इट इज द रोल ऑफ द वैल्यूअर देन. और सेकंड थिंग, अभी वन पार्ट आई एम गोइंग टू, I think that slide is not here, but still if I had so many slides, almost 100 plus slides are there. तो आपको अपील में जाना है. अभी क्या हो रहा है, सपोज ये जो वन केस वी हैव डिसाइडेड डिस्कस दैट एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड वैल्यूएशन and second one residential valuation. There is huge difference. In that case, what will be the valuer's role? He will go in appeal. Then the appellant authorities, you have to prove all these things, and based on that they may the income tax officers, senior officers, that commissioner of income tax, or might be some valuation wing is there, they will give their own decision. And if you are not satisfied with their decision, then you can go to the courts also, right? So if you want to go to the court, then first thing you have to go step by step. First thing, they consider only these two valuations: fair market value, guideline rate, regular value. And second thing, suppose you are not satisfied, then you can submit your own report with the income tax officer, senior commissioner, the officers of the commissioner's rank. You prove that, sir, this 10 lakhs is my valuation. I'm going to prove this. I have enough evidence available with me. According to zone, you have to consider this much valuation. So I have a concluding proof available with me. And suppose income tax department, you are not satisfied, then you straightway go to the court. So thank you and all the best. Now you can ask some question now.
Sir, some questions are there. Should I ask you?
Yes, but remember, I will share my mobile number, and so it is not possible to explain everything in 10-15 minutes.
Okay, in that
So-
case, I will list all my questions, and I'll have a convenient time to
Yes.
discuss and get the clarification on that.
Yes,
Question number
note down
one.
my number. Yes,
As
yes.
a valuer.
Yes. I can, being a land and valuer, I can because I have almost 31 years of experience in this field regarding
Yeah.
valuations, and I have handled all types of valuations. For your
Great.
information,
Fine.
I have handled court matters also. I have to appear on behalf of government. Sometimes I have to go to court. So
Yeah.
second thing, some income tax valuations, some MIDC valuations. So all types of valuations
Yeah.
done. So note down my
Sir.
number first. So then we will personally I can help. No issue.
Agreed.
Double-
I'm getting the questions which are raised in my mind. Sir, as a valuer,
Yes.
I'm appreciating that you have highlighted the indexation cost inflation index for the purpose of capital gain tax. But as a valuer, is it our duty to calculate the capital gain tax? Because in my opinion, it is coming under the purview of chartered accountant, not a valuer.
Yes.
Another question is that under section 50 of Income Tax Act, the ready reckoner or circle rates are governing. In
Yes.
that case, how the valuer will play a vital role. I am quoting one hypothetical condition wherein if the transactions have taken place at a higher rate than the circle rate, and if I am in a position to produce the documentary evidence in the form of index 2 in the year 2001 itself, then whether will it help me in getting the relief to that effect? That's my second question.
I understood both the questions. And second thing, for the first question, what you said, because repeat the first question, then I will answer
Yeah.
the first question.
I'm appreciating that you have highlighted the indexation cost inflation index for capital gain tax. But is it the duty of valuer to work out the capital gain tax, because that is coming under the purview of chartered accountant? As a
Yes.
valuer, I'm of the opinion I'm supposed to give the valuation as on 1/4/2001.
Yes, absolutely correct. It's not your duty to calculate the capital gain tax, but what is your role? Being a land and building valuer, suppose that property falls under the land and building category, then CA is not the expert regarding this. What he will do, he will collect your report, and accordingly he will submit his
Right,
report.
sir. Right, sir.
And the second thing,
about
suppose
section 50.
once plant and machinery's roles valuation is there, then in that case he has to collect the plant and machinery, registered plant and machinery valuation. But what is practically happening? That's why I am saying so many valuers are submitting wrong reports, though they are not qualified regarding this, but they are submitting. This should not happen.
Acha.
So note
Another
down my
thing,
number.
one section is there in income tax under 43 CA, that is date of first payment to the builder. Because one hypothetical condition.
Sir, I will because it will require a lot of time. So
Okay.
that's why I'm sharing my mobile number for everyone. Anyone wants to contact me, they can easily contact me. I'm going to discuss. I'm going to share my knowledge only.
Okay.
That purpose.
Acha, last question, sir. you are saying about 2 kilometers, 6 kilometers, 8 kilometers, whatever. In that case, is it coming under the purview of urban agglomeration, which is written in the accounts in the CA book?
See, if you want to reduce the valuation, that means you are not satisfied with the valuations given by the income tax department. In that case, you have to prove that this land doesn't fall under this much limit, because he is submitting, he is giving you notice. In that case, it's your duty, it's the duty of the valuer that he has to prove. And then he is a non-technical officer, right? Though he is an income tax officer, but he is submitting the notice, he is serving the notice based on his prima facie, whatever he has findings. But you can easily prove that, sir, this much is the population, this much is the distance. I have development plan available with me. I have measured these distances. I am the technical authority. I am technical valuer, and you can submit your evidences with the authorities and avail the benefits.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I have paid the entire stamp duty on agreement to sale.
Yes,
and
it
the
is
document
mandatory. It is mandatory according to
It
the
is
law.
mandatory. But
Yes.
while doing the deed of conveyance, that means agreement to sale, in Marathi we say it as Sathe Khat. And subsequently we do Kharedi Khat. Then at the time of conveyance or Kharedi Khat, if I have already paid the entire stamp duty on agreement to sale, then in that case, is it necessary to pay the stamp duty on conveyance?
No, only for you will require only 100 rupees bond there.
Okay.
So note down my mobile number so that you may contact me regarding these valuations, because I am also one of the valuer practicing now, but I do not practice, but still want to share some of my knowledge. That's my, I have already done my job for 31 years. So,
Please share your presentation.
yes, I will share. Are you all people are satisfied with my presentations? Today's
Request to
presentation?
Divya Jyoti Foundation that they can mail it.
But whether you people are satisfied with my presentation or not, that's
Yes, sir. Very much satisfied.
Yes,
Very much
sir.
satisfied.
Yes, sir.
It's good
Satisfied with your
presentation.
experience and knowledge.
I have a request to make, sir. That please share some references from where one can draw, some knowledge along with your presentation, so that we can make a reference to them. And besides, having a word with you or telephone number, like you have suggested.
Yeah, but I'm going to share my mobile number so that you can, what happens, I want some papers. Suppose you want to discuss with something, with particular matter. In that case, I require some papers. Unless and until this observing papers, I cannot say some.
No, that will be very kind of you. But another thing is, there must be some classics references available
Yeah, but I will
in
share.
the form of books. Please share their, this thing, where we can refer at times, because sometimes, one gets into some tricky situation, and those classics and references do help.
Yes, I will share. No issue.
Please mention those references also.
Then
We'll be
note down
grateful.
my mobile number, 88. Note down my number, 88 55 81 37 06. This is my contact number. You can just WhatsApp me and we can discuss. In your, suppose some Pankaj Kumar has some points he wants to discuss. And so many people want to discuss with me. They can contact me easily, because I will share my knowledge definitely. Okay, thank you.
Sir,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You all are most welcome. We will
सर
discuss.
आपका आज का आपका लेक्चर बहुत ही ज्यादा एजुकेटिव था और बहुत ही ज्यादा अच्छा था, हमें बहुत सुन के अच्छा लगा। बट सर थोड़े रिफॉर्म्स होने चाहिए सिस्टम में ताकि कैपिटल गेन की चोरी रुके। जो रियल एस्टेट में जो ब्लैक मनी है वो रुके, उसके लिए आप क्या देखो सर, आप ऑफिसर हैं, उसको आप कैसे रोक सकते हैं, वो सोचना पड़ेगा
भाई
सर।
साहब वो अगले 50 साल रुकेगा नहीं, ब्लैक मनी तो चलता ही रहेगा।
क्या उसको बहुत मुश्किल है वो।
बाकी सर आपका टॉपिक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग था, बहुत अच्छा था, लेकिन सर ये चोर बाजारी तो रुकनी चाहिए कम से कम।
तो नॉलेज भी आप एक दूसरे से आप वी ऑल आर द वैल्यूअर्स, सो वी विल डिस्कस, or sometimes I may make mistakes. We will have some again some you suggest some topics so that I can give my lectures. I have very good experience regarding these valuations.
जी सर, जी सर।
Practical experience. I have actual practical experience with me
जी
for
सर।
31 years. So
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर।
Good evening, sir. Today's lecture is very interactive session, and Anil sir has already shared his number with you. You can ask your queries with him. And now we are going to end this session. Hope all of you have enjoyed the session and solved your queries and gained a lot of knowledge from Anil Godge, sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
It was a nice session.